and told them.
Okay, good.
The hour for convening having arrived, all members will please report to the floor and take your seats. All members will report to the floor of the House, and if there are any left, that means members in the gallery will report to the floor. Mr. Clerk, would you ring the bell, please?
Speaker, I'm going to put all your papers right here, just in case you're looking for something.
All members will report to the floor and be seated. This House will come to order. Members will please take your seats. We are going to follow a little bit different procedure this morning. Today is House Panoramic Picture Day. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Pearl here shortly, and he will be in charge. He will have the gavel. He will have all weapons at his disposal to enforce order, including preventing members from sitting over here, and then as the camera gets over here, run over here so that they end up in the picture twice. I have one. Huh?
Tippett did that.
Doug Teeper.
Yeah, Tippett.
Doug Teeper, if any of you remember Doug.
Yeah, then he didn't even buy a picture.
Representative Fleming remembers that day. I still have my picture, Representative. I don't know about you. Do you still have yours? Okay, we're going to go ahead and do the panoramic picture, and then let the guys take down their equipment, and then we'll come back in and follow the normal course of roll call and our devotion and take care of our business.
Doesn't take me but a minute to get rid of this.
Okay. All right. You got a mic?
Ready?
You have a mic? Okay. Okay. Mr. Pearl.
Okay, folks, my name is George Pearl. I've run Atlanta Legal Photo Services for 43 years, started back in 1978. And I have a little division of that, Atlanta Panorama, where we shoot huge groups of people. And in case you've never been in a panorama picture, it's just a long, skinny photo with a lot of people in it. So this is from 2019. So you can see what we're trying to achieve here. Now, the way this is taken is in parts, and then it's all put together. The camera will rotate around. Some of these people are actually seated behind me at the moment. So the camera will cover them and then come on around and get the rest of you. And there'll be a bright light that's going to hit you in the face as the camera comes around to your photo area. And that means that your picture is being taken. So now, I don't want you to call me up after I display these pictures in the ante room for sale over there, which I hope you'll buy, because we're not paid to come down here and do this. way back, I remember the Speaker of the House, Tom Murphy, gave me a call, and he said, George, I want you to come down and shoot a group photo for us. And I says, yeah, where, what? And he says, the House of Representatives. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll try to do that. And he said, yeah, well, it better be good. And he's not with us anymore, but I wonder, any of y'all still here from Tom Murphy days? All right, good, that's great. What a great guy. Well, I'm still working for him all this time. So anyway, we're going to shoot this picture, and I'd like for you to do a little cleanup if you haven't done it already on your desk. We don't need all these Coca-Cola bottles. I know Coke is it, but it's not it in a panorama group photo. So let's get rid of them. I think they're all gone. Let's take all the masks off and just hide them in your desk. Staff is going to line each side of the room. Staff, come down. Come down, staff. Keep coming. Come on down. Fill some space here. Come on down. On the other side, well, we hardly have any staff over there. Come on down, come on down. You're going the wrong way. I want you to fill this area right here. Come on down. There you go. Now, somebody's left a little brown cap over here on one of these chairs. It needs to go. Okay, people with masks, you're not going to be in my picture. Okay? Because I don't want to have a bunch of people with their faces hid. Am I getting through to you, or what are we going to do? Behind you. Okay, that looks good. Okay, y'all look good. All right, do we have everything put away? Speaker, I think you dropped a card or something, your ID. What is that down there? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay, remember, as the camera comes around, the light hits you, put on a happy face. Don't call me later and say I don't like how I look, because that's up to you. It isn't up to me. Okay, somebody actually did that once. Okay, well, I'm ready to go, Mr. Speaker, if you'd like to take your position out here in the middle. And do we have the other staff used to stand behind you? Huh? Okay, well, wherever you'd like them to be. Your assistants or whatever. Okay, Mr. Speaker, just back up just a little bit more, please, sir. Okay, hold it, hold it, hold it. Come up some, come up some. You can come up a little. Come on up, Mr. Speaker, come on up, come on up, come on up. Come on, come on. There you go, stop. That's good. Okay. All right, here we go. I'll start shooting. Coming right around now. Keep on coming. Now I need to kind of reposition myself here, or I'll be in the picture. That's good. Whew, you all look good today. Now we're going to do this again, so don't think that that was it. Okay, I'm going to come right where I was and go around the other way now. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's nice. Coming right here. Very good, very good. That's nice. Oh, you look really official. Can all the people from the wall just drop their hands down so that they're by your side? That would look better. There you go. See, they're even waving at me over here. That's nice. What the heck, I got your attention. I'm going to go back. Okay, good happy faces. This will be the last run. Right around, right around. That's great, that's great. You all look good, look good, look good. Now, when I get through shooting this picture, I'm going to go back to my studio and we're going to print them out and we're going to frame a couple and we're going to display these in that ante room over there with order forms so that you can just place an order if you like the picture. If you don't like the picture, that's okay. Sorry. But I hope you'll like it good enough to order one for me. And then we will deliver it directly to your office if you're here at the Capitol or the CLOB. Thank you for your attention and your support.
The hour for convening having once again arrived. All members will please take their seats. All members will please take their seats. Mr. Clerk, would you ring the bell? We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. Good morning. Almost afternoon after all that excitement. We will begin our day now with scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the lady from the 83rd House District, Representative Becky Evans. Representative Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to introduce my friend, who's a longtime friend of so many of yours, our pastor of the day, the Reverend Dr. William E. Flippen, Sr. Dr. Flippen is the visionary pastor of the Greater Piney Grove Baptist Church in Atlanta. He's a native of Nashville, Tennessee, and has a BA in mathematics and business administration from Fisk University, a Master of Divinities degree, cum laude, from Emory's Candler School of Theology, and a doctorate of ministry from Chicago's McCormick Theological Seminary. As he understands that ministry is holistic in nature, he's also certified as a life transformational coach and a leadership coach trainer. Since 1990, Dr. Flippen has led the congregation of the Greater Piney Grove Baptist Church, and in that time, the church has witnessed significant growth with new facilities and establishing over 14 ministries to meet the emotional, spiritual, and physical needs of the congregation and community, and ordaining over 100 new ministers and deacons. And understanding that the church cannot live apart from the community, Dr. Flippen has established the Grove as a key stakeholder for the people of Atlanta and DeKalb. The church is actively engaged with the community through many initiatives, including the NAACP, its outreach center, annual holiday giving, self-help programs, and Pastor Flippen is president of the DeKalb Juvenile Justice Council, and that's how which is how I've gotten to know him. And finally, the church is extremely proud of the new affordable senior living complex built under his leadership, completed in 2020, the Grove Gardens at Eastlake Senior Living Community. He's the founder and CEO of several nonprofits, a former chaplain of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, an accomplished author of 6 books, and an international preacher and teacher. Dr. Flippen firmly believes that God has commissioned him for the purpose of raising leaders, and to that end, he has dedicated his life to be a mentor to pastors, ministers, community, and business leaders. He's married to Sylvia Taylor Flippen, and together they're the proud parents of 4 children, 3 sons who have continued the family preaching legacy, 1 daughter and 2 grandchildren. So I first met Pastor Flippen when I experienced the power of God's love and worship and community at Greater Piney Grove in 2018. I'm so grateful that God gave me the opportunity to serve on the board of the DeKalb Juvenile Justice Council under his leadership. When he interviewed me for the board, he was so welcoming and interested in getting to know me, just like he is in all of you that he engages with. Dr. Flippen is warm, humble, and gracious, and he knows how to inspire, engage, and encourage all those who work around him. He's an effective leader with a heart for God and God's people. He's a spiritual leader across Atlanta and DeKalb. Please join me in welcoming our pastor of the day, Reverend Dr. William E. Flippen, Sr. Pastor Flippen.
You can clap if you want to. Good morning. Well, it has been a hectic morning, hasn't it? But a very interesting one. Speaker Ralston, thank you for the opportunity to stand before this wonderful group of men and women. To Representative Becky Evans. And I said, if I start calling names, I'm going to mess up Al Williams. But I have to recognize the Dean of the House, Calvin Smyre. Congratulations, son. And if you need anybody to pray in the Dominican Republic, I'll be glad to give you my card. I have a lot of friends here that I've worked with over the years. And the last time I did the prayer, Speaker Murphy was here. That's a long time, isn't it? When my daughter was a little girl and she was preparing to go to bed at night, I went into her room and said, let's say our prayers, Joy. She knelt down by the bed, folded her little hands, and for about 15 seconds, I tapped her. I said, sweetheart, I don't hear nothing. She looked at her daddy, the pastor, educated, supposed to know everything about prayer. She looked at me, she said, I ain't talking to you. So let us talk to God. Dear God, the creator of all things, we stand in this place that governs the lives of men, women, boys, and girls in the great state of Georgia. Since 1889, when the city of Atlanta deeded the state these 5 acres where we are this very moment, the people's business has been conducted. For almost 150 years, elected officials have gathered with the intent to govern fairly and with equity. However, too often progress has been hindered by division and opposing opinions. Yet, Georgia still stands as the crown jewel of the South. We pray that each of you will come to a place of common vision that will advance the lives of all citizens in our state. And we are counting on you. Without vision, the people will perish. And unfortunately, too many in our state are perishing. So Lord, help us and these wonderful men and women to arrive at a new creative imagination that will allow us to see beyond our own interest, special interest, and their influences, and the partisan divide that keeps us apart and not trusting one another. May we be reminded and renewed to address the mandate that is in all major world religions. Remember the poor, remember the less fortunate, remember the elderly, remember the abused. Many in this chamber have been blessed to be selected by their peers to make decisions that will affect so many. Many of us must never forget and must recall that we did also live in poverty and lack. Many of us have come to this place from humble beginnings all over Georgia. Many of us must remember that we were once looked over and ignored. Very few of us were born with a silver spoon in our mouth. We only came to this place here today because someone thought enough of us to give us an opportunity. Somebody saw something in us and motivated us to live a more productive and abundant life. So, Lord, I pray that no matter what station we're in, what successes we have made, what our financial portfolios have become, Lord, let us never forget our small beginnings. Lord, let us never forget those who are still trying to exist in those humble beginnings. May we never forget that it takes a village to change society. Dear Lord, help us to never forget to serve the least, the last, and the lost. We pray this day that we will leave here not being guilty like the two men in the New Testament on the Jericho road. The priest and the Levite, leaders, religious leaders that passed the injured man. We do not know exactly where they were headed, but we do know that they saw the need and passed by to take care of their own agenda. But one man, a Samaritan, half Jew, half Gentile, an outcast in that day, he had been ridiculed as the lowest of low in society, but he stopped and helped the man get assistance. So I pray that we would leave these sessions being good Samaritans from North Georgia with its beautiful, majestic mountains, South Georgia with its beautiful seashore, black, white, Hispanic, Democrat, Republican, Independent. May we all come to that place that we will serve this present age, our calling to fulfill. Lord, a few days ago we celebrated the 93rd birthday of Prophet Martin Luther King Jr., and how we long for his dream of the beloved community to become a reality. May we step up to the God-given rights to all to be judged and valued by others, not by the color of our skin, but the content of our character. We pray in the name of our God. Let us all say, Amen. Let us do the pledge. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. And furthermore, Mr. Speaker, life's tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late.
Chairman Hogan, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. Burns, on the 59th, moves following me establishes the order of business in the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 856 by Representative Schofield of the 60th, Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Bernal of the 77th, Park of the 101st, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 2080 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions regarding the General Assembly.
Rules.
House Bill 858 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th, Dreyer of the 59th. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 16 and Title 9 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Uniform Civil Forfeiture Procedure Act.
Judiciary.
House Bill 859 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, and Schofield of the 60th. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 16, Title 9 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Uniform Civil Forfeiture Procedure Act.
Judiciary.
House Bill 860 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, and Schofield of the 60th. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 16 and Title 9 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Uniform Civil Forfeiture Procedure Act.
Judiciary.
House Bill 861 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 60th, Davis of the 87th, Hughley of the 136th, Buckner of the 137th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 and Title 20, Article 1 of Chapter 1 and Title 42, and Chapter 1 and Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to health.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 863 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 60th, Buckner of the 137th, Hughley of the 136th, Davis of the 87th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to education.
Higher Education.
House Bill 864 by Representative Scott, 76, Hughley of the 136th, Schofield of the 60th, Buckner of the 137th, Davis of the 87th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to public assistance.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 937 by Representative Henderson of the 113th. Bill being titled an act to amend Article 7, Chapter 4, Title 49 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to medical assistance generally.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 938 by Representative Jones, the 53rd, a bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 1 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to holidays and observances.
State Planning and Community Affairs.
House Bill 939 by Representative Maynard, the 56th, Cantrell of the 22nd, Paris of the 142nd, Jackson of the 128th, Hagan of the 156th, and others. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 6 of Chapter 3 and Title 37 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to the rights and privileges.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 940 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 53 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to wills.
Judiciary.
House Bill 941 by Representative McLeod of the 105th, Beverly of the 143rd, Scott of the 76th, McLean of the 100th, Bazemore of the 63rd, and others. Bill being titled an act to comprehensively revise elections and voting by repeal Act Number 9.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 942 by Representative Wade of the 9th and Ralston of the 7th. Bill being titled an act to amend the act creating the Board of Commissioners of Dawson County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 943 by Representative Wade of the 9th and Ralston of the 7th. Bill being titled an act to amend the act providing for an elected Board of Education in Dawson County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 944 by Representative Holmes of the 129th. The bill being titled an act to amend the act creating the Board of Commissioners of Jasper County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 945 by Representative Holmes of the 129th. The bill being titled an act to amend the act creating the Board of Commissioners of Butts County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 946 by Representative Holmes of the 129th. Bill being titled an act to amend the act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Butts County.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 947 by Representative Holmes of the 129th. Bill being titled an act to amend an act reconstituting the Board of Education of Jasper County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 948 by Representative Rhodes, the 120th, and Lever to the 33rd. A bill being titled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Wilkes County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 949 by Representative Rhodes, the 120th. A bill being titled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Oglethorpe County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 950 by Representative Rhodes, the 120th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Oglethorpe County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 951 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd. Bill be titled an act to amend an act providing for the Board of Commissioners of Elbert County.
Intergovernmental
House
coordination.
Bill 952 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd. A bill be titled an act to amend an act reconstituting and recreating the Board of Education of Elbert County.
Intergovernmental
House
coordination.
Bill 953 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd. A bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Lincoln County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 954 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd. A bill be titled an act to amend an act providing for the election of members of the Board of Education of Lincoln County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 955 by Representative Williams of the 148th, Hogan of the 179th, Mathis of the 144th, and Gilliard of the 162nd. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Crisp County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 956 by Representative Williams of the 148th, Hogan of the 179th, Mathis of the 144th, and Gilliard of the 162nd. Bill be titled an act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Crisp County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 957 by Representative Parrish of the 158th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Candler County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 958 by Representative Parrish of the 158th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Candler County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 959 by Representative Smith, the 133rd, Smith, the 134th, and Buckner, the 137th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act relating to the Board of Commissioners of Harris County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 960 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, Barr of the 103rd, Oliver of the 82nd, Wilson of the 80th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 12 of Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the Governor.
Judiciary.
House Bill 961 by Representative Abstration of the 104th, Oliver of the 82nd, Williamson of the 115th, Smith of the 18th, Hatchet of the 150th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 51, 12, 33 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to the reduction and apportionment of award or bar of recovery.
Judiciary.
House Bill 962 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly the 143rd, Davis of the 87th, and Carter the 92nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 4, Chapter 11 of Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to general provisions relative to dangers, instrumentalities, and practices.
Public safety and homeland security.
House Bill 963 by Representative Parrish of the 158th, Stevens of the 164th, and Burchett of the 176th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 13 and Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to controlled substances.
Health and Human Services.
House Bill 964 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Cantrell of the 22nd, Lemon of the 99th, Wilkerson of the 38th, and Sharper of the 177th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 81 and Title 36 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to local government budgets and audits.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 965 by Representative Maynard of the 56th, Jackson of the 128th, Thomas of the 65th, Jones of the 53rd, Mallow of the 163rd. Bill being titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 15 of Chapter 1 of Title 10 and Article 1 of Chapter 7 of Title 44 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to Fair Business Practices Act.
Judiciary.
House Bill 966 by Representative Thomas of the 65th, Drenner of the 85th, Evans of the 83rd, Jones of the 53rd, and Buckner of the 137th. Bill being titled an act to amend Chapter 3 of Title 46 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to electric services.
Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications.
House Bill 967 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Jackson of the 64th, and Davis of the 87th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 1710(1) of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to fixing of a sentence.
Judiciary, Non-Civil.
House Bill 968 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th, Sharper of the 177th, and McLeod of the 105th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 4, Title 25, Code Section 311152, and Chapter 8 of Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to firefighting standards and training.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 969 by Representative Smith of the 18th, Williams of the 148th, Irwin of the 28th, Gaines of the 117th, and Campbell of the 15th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 13 and Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to insurance holding company systems.
Insurance.
House Bill 970 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Davis of the 87th, Schofield of the 60th, and Williams of the 168th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 4, Title 38 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to veterans benefits.
Higher education.
House Bill 971 by Representative Scott of the 76th, Beverly of the 143rd, Schofield of the 60th, Davis of the 87th, and McLeod of the 105th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 15-524, Article 4 of Chapter 11 of Title 16, and Article 1 of Chapter 2 of Title 35 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to duties of the administrative offices of the courts.
Public safety and homeland security.
House Bill 972 by Representative Belton of the 112th, Campbell of the 15th, Powell of the 32nd, Collins of the 68th, Jackson of the 128th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 10A of Title 43 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to licensing provisions regarding professional counselors.
Regulated industries.
House Bill 973 by Representative Collins of the 68th, Hitchens the 161st, Powell of the 32nd, and Lumsden of the 12th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 10 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Public safety and homeland security.
House Bill 974 by Representative Gullett of the 19th, Gunner of the 8th, Scoggins of the 14th, Jones of the 25th, and Holcomb of the 81st. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 44, the official code of Georgia annotated relating to recordation and registration of deeds.
Judiciary.
House Bill 975 by Representative Scoggins of the 14th, Werkheiser of the 157th, Chokus of the 138th, Rhodes of the 120th, Green of the 151st, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 2 and Title 21 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to elections and primaries generally.
Governmental affairs.
House Bill 976 by Representative Schofield of the 60th, Jackson of the 128th, Scott of the 76th, Buckner of the 137th, Bentley of the 139th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 2 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to agriculture.
Agriculture and consumer affairs.
House Bill 977 by Representative Schofield of the 60th, Kirby the 114th, Hughley the 136th, Carter the 92nd, Scott of the 76th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 3412 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to prohibitions of age discrimination in employment.
Judiciary.
House Bill 978 by Representative Smith of the 70th, Stevens of the 164th, England of the 116th, Green of the 151st, and Dempsey the 13th. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 5 of Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to county boards of tax assessors.
Ways and means.
House Bill 979 by Representative Mallow of the 163rd, Holcomb of the 81st, Stevens the 164th, Evans the 57th, and Lim of the 99th. The bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7, Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to imposition rate computation and exemptions from income taxes.
Ways and means.
House Resolution 594 by Representative Smith the 70th, Stevens the 164th, England the 116th, Green the 151st, Dempsey the 13th. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution.
Ways and means.
House Resolution 595 by Representative Evans of the 83rd, Washburn of the 141st, Buckner of the 137th, Thomas of the 21st, Thomas of the 65th, and others. A resolution urging the Georgia Building Authority to plan for sustainable materials management and safe drinking water.
State properties.
Senate Bill 335 by Senator Gucci the 51st, a bill being entitled an act to amend an act creating the Board of Commissioners of Lumpkin County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
Senate Bill 336 by Senator Walker of the 20th, a bill being entitled an act to amend an act revising and restating the law relating to Bleckley County Board of Education.
Intergovernmental coordination.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 919 by Representative Kendrick of the 93rd, a bill relating to general provisions relative to administrative procedure. House Bill 920 by Representative Kendrick of the 93rd, a bill relating to income taxes. House Bill 921 by Representative Alexander of the 66th, Bruce of the 61st, Gravely of the 67th, Collins of the 68th, Thomas of the 65th, and others. A bill to amend an act creating Board of Commissioners of Douglas County. House Bill 922 by Representative Alexander of the 66th, Bruce of the 61st, Gravely of the 67th, Collins of the 68th, and Thomas of the 65th. A bill to amend an act creating Douglas County Board of Education. House Bill 923 by Representative Oliver of the 82nd, Martin of the 49th, McLaurin of the 51st, Kelly of the 16th, Dwyer of the 59th, and others. A bill relating to directors, officers' compensation, adoption of bylaws, delegation of powers and duties, conflicts of interest, and audits of development authorities. House Bill 924 by Representative Oliver of the 82nd, Martin of the 49th, McLaurin of the 51st, Dreyer of the 59th, Roberts of the 52nd, a bill relating to procedure for resolving annexation dispute. House Bill 925 by Representative Saines of the 180th, Gunter of the 8th, Watson of the 172nd, Burchett of the 176th, Wilson of the 80th, and others, a bill relating to authority of the Board of Georgia Judicial Retirement System. House Bill 926 by Representative Lewis Ward of the 109th, Bodie of the 62nd, McLean of the 100th, Schofield of the 60th, Scott 76, and others, a bill relating to labor and industrial relations. House Bill 927 by Representative Hutchinson of the 107th, Wynn of the 89th, Park of the 101st, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 60th, a bill relating to offenses involving illegal aliens, searches and seizures, general provisions regarding law enforcement officers and agencies and jails. House Bill 928 by Representative Hutchinson of the 107th, Wilson of the 80th, Scott of the 76th, Mitchell of the 88th, Kennard of the 102nd, and others, a bill relating to state flag, seal, and other symbols. House Bill 929 by Representative Hutchinson of the 107th, McLaurin of the 51st, Kennard of the 102nd, Schofield of the 60th, Beverly of the 143rd, a bill relating to conditions of detention. House Bill 930 by Representative Hutchinson of the 107th, Scott of the 76th, Schofield of the 60th, Mitchell of the 88th, Kennard of the 102nd, a bill relating to state flag, seal, and other symbols. House Bill 931 by Representative Cantrell of the 22nd, Thomas of the 65th, Jones of the 25th, Barton of the 5th, Gamble of the 15th, and others, a bill relating to contents of certificates of title, certificates as evidence, and certificates not subject to garnishment and other processes, and certificates in the alternative ad valorem tax on motor vehicles. House Bill 932 by Representative Cantrell of the 22nd, Fry of the 118th, Couch of the 50th, Carpenter of the 4th, Chuckis of the 138th, the bill relating to the university system. House Bill 933 by Representative Blackman of the 146th, Roberts of the 52nd, Jones of the 47th, Clark of the 108th, Wade of the 9th, a bill relating to elections and primaries. House Bill 934 by Representative Leverett of the 33rd, Williams of the 168th, Dickens of the 100, Dickey of the 140th, Hawley of the 111th, Hutchinson of the 107th, and others, a bill relating to the special district mass transportation sales and use tax. House Bill 935 by Representative Hill of the 3rd and Tarvin of the 2nd, a bill to amend it and act creating the Office of Commissioner of Catoosa County. House Bill 936 by Representative Hill of the 3rd and Tarvin of the 2nd, a bill to amend and act to reconstitute the Board of Education of Catoosa County. House Resolution 580 by Representative Neal of the 74th, Kendrick of the 93rd, a resolution creating the House Study Committee for the feasibility of adopting empowered or use by the state of Georgia. House Resolution 581 by Representative Neal of the 74th, Nix of the 69th, Gamble of the 15th, Evans of the 57th, a resolution proposing amendment to the Constitution so as to authorize the General Assembly to provide for the net proceeds of one or more lottery games to support economic development. House Resolution 582 by Representative Cantrell of the 22nd, Jaspers of the 11th, Jones of the 47th, Thomas of the 21st, Carson of the 46th, and others, resolution honoring the life of Mr. Roger William Cavender and dedicating a road in his memory. House Resolution 583 by Representative Hutchinson of the 107th, Wynn of the 89th, Park of the 101st, McLean of the 100th, Couch of the 50th, resolution encouraging the replacement of the term illegal alien with the term undocumented person in the Official Code of Georgia Annotated. House Resolution 593 by Representative Hogan of the 179th, Saines of the 180th, Deloach of the 167th, Williams of the 168th, and Prince of the 127th. Resolution compensating Mr. Dennis Arnold Perry. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. The clerk will read.
Representative Darlene Taylor, I'm 73rd District Chairman of the Committee on Governmental Affairs, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Governmental Affairs is in consideration of the following bills of the House and instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 841 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Taylor of the 173rd District Chairman. Representative Mike Chokas of the 138th District Chairman of the Committee on Small Business Development submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Small Business Development has had under consideration the following resolution of the House. Instructed me to report the same back to the House following recommendations. House Resolution 579 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Mike Chokas, the 138th District Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
All right, we're going on now to morning orders. We're going on to morning orders. The chair wants to remind all members that we are operating under the mask mandate. That was in the protocols you received before session began. Mask up for safety of those around you. All right, on morning orders. We've got a lot of morning orders today. Chair's going to limit morning orders to 1 minute each, and here's what we're going to do. At the end of a minute, the mic cuts off. Just cuts off. I'm not going to warn you. That takes up time. So the mic will be terminated after 1 minute. Chair recognizes Representative Schofield for a morning order. All right, Representative Schofield is not here. We'll put her down for tomorrow. We're not going to give a second chance today. Chair recognizes Chairman Stevens for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll speak fast. You may not know it, but this is a 30th anniversary of the Great Lottery, if you will. This was the vote that we took and this body allowed to take for gaming 30 years ago. I want to recognize 5 people that were here: the chairman of Swainsboro, the chairman from Hartwell, the chairman from Cuthbert, and the chair lady of Martock, and our U.S. ambassador nominee from Columbus. That took some real guts, ladies and gentlemen, to give 2 million of your constituents the opportunity for the great equalizer in education, and 1.6 million families the opportunity to get a head start. Thank you, gentlemen and lady.
Chair recognizes Representative Mitchell for a morning order. 1 minute.
Thank you. Today I rise to affirm our support for upholding reproductive freedom on the occasion of the 29th anniversary of Roe v. Wade. January 22, 2022 marked the 49th anniversary of the Supreme Court's landmark decision on Roe v. Wade, which affirmed that everyone has a fundamental right to control their own reproductive decisions and to decide whether to continue a pregnancy or obtain an abortion, and which is supported by 70% of Georgia voters. Roe v. Wade continues to protect health and freedom and facilitates gender equity and economic and financial participation in the United States. Interference with the access to safe and legalized abortion can lead to the rise of criminalization of pregnancy outcomes and the rise of incarceration of pregnant people. Thank you, and I yield the well.
Chair recognizes Representative Rick Williams for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention, over the weekend, we had a deputy sheriff get shot in Jones County. He made a traffic stop. Thank goodness he had on his vest. It saved his life. But it was on Channel 2 last night. The person who shot this deputy, the family had been pleading for help with mental help for this person. And so it just brings it again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's dangerous, but I want to salute our local law enforcement officers too. The sheriffs, the police that put their life on the line every day. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Hutchinson for a morning order.
Good morning, colleagues. I know y'all missed me, and I know you missed these kids. This is 14-year-old London. London wants to be a pediatrician. She's described as a thoughtful, helpful girl who likes swimming, making jewelry, participating in dance and gymnastics. She also enjoys reading comic books, listening to R&B music, and watching TV, of course. She is one of many children who are available for adoption in the state of Georgia. Thank you very much, and I yield the well.
Chair recognizes Representative Angela Moore for a morning order.
Good morning. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, I rise on a point of personal privilege to recognize a wonderful woman, the Honorable Talbot County Probate Magistrate Judge Cheryl Terry, who died suddenly at age 45 on Wednesday. Judge Terry, historically, was the first African American woman judge in Talbot County, having been elected in 2020, following the footsteps of her father and predecessor, former Judge John R. Terry, who discovered his daughter's body at their Shallow home. Judge Terry was an active member of the sorority to which I am a member, the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Please stand and join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Gamble for a morning order. Representative Gamble, the clock is running on you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We just stand up here today to represent the 13th annual ARAD Day. Last year we had over 1,100 people participate virtually, the year before 1,300, and this is the focus to make sure that we are all recognizing our recovery community and that recovery is real. You should all be receiving one of these in your mailbox or on your desks here soon. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Kendrick for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to salute the 49th anniversary of Roe v. Wade. On January 22nd, 2022, marked the 49th anniversary of the U.S. Supreme Court's landmark decision, which affirmed that everyone has a fundamental right to control their own reproductive decisions and to decide whether to continue a pregnancy or obtain an abortion, and which is supported by 70% of Georgia voters. In the past, Georgia has introduced a number of pro-birth pieces of legislation, including the near-total abortion ban of HB 481. So in conclusion, if you do not have my uterus, I humbly ask that you not get in mine. Thank you.
Amen.
Chair recognizes Representative Jasmine Clark for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As my colleagues just mentioned, this weekend we celebrated the 49th anniversary of Roe v. Wade decision, and 49 years later, the constitutional protections for reproductive rights are in jeopardy. Here's what we know. We know that access to comprehensive reproductive health care, including abortion, contraception, prenatal care, labor and delivery services, and postpartum care are necessary for people's overall health, regardless of race, gender identity, income level, and immigration status, and that health is a human right. As the fate of reproductive rights hangs in the balance, and 50 years later we continue to fight for equitable policies that ensure access to comprehensive and inclusive reproductive health care for all, my colleagues and I are committed to introducing legislation that addresses these barriers and inequities in access to reproductive health care, including.
Chair recognizes Representatives Hobson, Burnell, Jones, Davis, Moore, and Jackson for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It is with great sorrow that we, the members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, share the passing of our beloved National President and Chair of the National Board of Directors, Madam President Cheryl A. Hickman. President Hickman transitioned peacefully on January 20th, 2022 after a recent illness. Madam President Hickman was a devoted member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated since 1982 and served in various capacities at the chapter, region, and national levels before being elected our president. She is remembered not only for her role as being a leader, but for being a colleague, friend, and most of all, a sister. She truly lived the motto, don't measure life by the number of breaths you take, but the number of moments that take your breath away. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Hickman family and our Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Sisterhood. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, we're going on now to announcements. If you signed up for an announcement, be up front and be ready to go. Chair recognizes Representative Alexander for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Women Caucus will meet at immediately upon adjournment, room 216. Pick up your box lunches and then jump on a Zoom. Thanks.
Chair recognizes the Chairman of the House Rules Committee, Chairman Smith, for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rules Committee will meet tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in room 341. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Todd Jones and Representative Kennard for an announcement.
The inaugural meeting of the Mental Health Policy Caucus is meeting today in 341 at 1 p.m. There will be a lunchbox available for you if you're attending between 11:30 and 12:30 in Club 502. Just go by and pick it up. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Heath Clark for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Georgia Craft Brewers Guild is holding an event today from 4 to 6 p.m. at Eventide Brewing, which is just down the road on Grant Street here in Atlanta. These are businesses that have helped a lot of revitalizations in downtowns across our state, and come out today and support them and have a couple of beers. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Sam Watson for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Appropriations Subcommittee of General Government will meet today at 4 o'clock in 406 CLOB. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Don Parsons for an announcement.
Thank you, Speaker. Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications will meet today at 3 p.m. in 403 here in the Capitol. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Billy Mitchell for an announcement.
The House Democratic Caucus will meet on the south steps in the rotunda for a photograph immediately following the conclusion of this session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Bonnie Rich for an announcement.
The House Majority Caucus will meet upon adjournment in room 403. Lunch will be provided.
Chair recognizes Representative Bruce Williamson for an announcement.
The Legislative Fellowship will meet tomorrow morning in room 133 from 7 to 8 o'clock. This is Legislative Fellowship. Love to have you there.
Chair recognizes Chairman F. Stration for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Judiciary Committee will meet at 1:30 in room 132, 1:30 in room 132.
Okay, we have one other important item of business to take up. You may want to hear this. If you wish to know when you're going to get finished this session, then I suggest you sit down and cease conversation. The majority leader has made some history with the Senate, and before they change their mind, we're going to pass the adjournment resolution. They have been known to do that. Chair recognizes the majority leader of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's vote before they reconsider over there, right? Well, Mr. Speaker, as always, on items we have up with consideration with the Senate, we certainly appreciate your leadership and your steady hand as you help guide the conversations that take place. But I will certainly give credit to my counterpart, Leader Dugan in the Senate, and certainly appreciate working with him in a spirit to make sure that we continue doing the work that we were elected to do here. Speaker Ralston always lets us know that we're here to serve the people of this state. And that's job one, and that's what this schedule that was put on your desk yesterday, that you now see on the board, that's been agreed to in the Senate. And I hope that you will join me in supporting this resolution that takes us from tomorrow till the end of this session on sine die. If you will, I'll go over it with you briefly. I think most of you had an opportunity to look at this. Thanks to the clerk's good work in his office on making sure that we received this. I believe the days as we've laid them out are respectful of we as members and of our family commitments and commitments back at home during the next month or so. But more importantly, this schedule is respectful of the well-being of Georgians. It gives us an opportunity to make sure that we're deliberate, as we always are, as we consider a historic budget and as we consider legislation that will impact our people, this state, for years to come. So if you will, follow me through this calendar, and I'll go through it with you pretty quickly. Of course, today is the last day of the current adjournment resolution we're under. So this one we'll pick up with tomorrow on Thursday, January the 27th. We will be out Friday and out Monday before we resume for Legislative Day 9 on Thursday, February the 1st. If you'll follow through with me, then we're out in those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, out Friday, back in on Monday, February the 7th, and in on the 8th. Committee work day on the Wednesday, February the 9th, and then we're in the remainder of that week for Legislative Day 15. Then we're in on Monday the 14th, 15th, Wednesday the 16th, committee work day, and then we're in for Legislative Day 18 on the 17th. We're out on Friday the 18th, and on Monday the 21st. On the 22nd, we convene for Day 19, Legislative Day 19. Committee work day on the 23rd. And for February the 24th will be Legislative Day 20. Friday we're out. Now an important week is coming up. The following week we're in 4 days on Monday the 28th through March the 4th. We're out. We'll be out for committee work day on March 2. Then on Monday, March the 7th, we're out. And then on Tuesday we come back for that all-important week. And qualifying ends on March the 11th. We will be here for Legislative Day 27. Then on Monday, March 14th, as we make sure that we're prepared for crossover day, which will be day 28, is on March the 15th. Then we will come back in on the 16th for first readers and continue our business to make sure we're on the push to the end for sine die. And you can see we're in on that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday, March the 21st will be day 32. We'll be in 4 days that week, and we'll be out on Thursday for committee work days. Then on Friday, March the 25th, we will convene for legislative day 35. The following week, the last full week of the session, March 28th, legislative day 36, Tuesday 37, Wednesday 38. On Thursday, we will have a committee work day before we convene for legislative day 39. Now, as you've seen, on Saturday and Sunday, there are a possibility for committee work days. You will need to be in touch with your committee chairs to make sure that we tend to the business of this house as we prepare for that all-important day of Monday, April the 4th, for sine die. I think, and I understand that there are plans made for that first part of April. There are a lot of important things going on that first week in April with our families in our state. And I believe this is respectful of those plans and the priorities that we all have in our personal lives. But we're here to continue to finish up with the business that we will have worked on here for 40 working days. And I would ask you to support this adjournment resolution. It gives us some certainty to our lives. And again, I'll thank Speaker Ralston for his support and his direction on helping negotiate this schedule, and certainly appreciate the Senate and them working with us. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll answer any questions. I probably went into too much in-depthness, but
Well, I want to commend you, Mr. Leader. Some of you who have been here for a little while can remember when we would do an adjournment resolution about a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. I don't ever recall one being done in January that took us till the end in April. That gives members the ability to plan, and I think that's important. But it also sets aside enough time for us to get our work done and do it properly. So I want to commend you very much for your work on this. You got a couple of questions if you care to yield.
I'll yield, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Al Williams to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, I'll yield to my friend.
The red light was about to go on, but I know that in your infinite wisdom, Mr. Leader, you and the Speaker in your negotiations did not realize you knew there were some important days. But on the 4th of April, that's the 41st wedding anniversary of Isaiah Hughley and Carolyn Hughley. How could you? years.
41 years, and I'm sure on that great day of celebration with all the friends and family, they did not get on to a lot of things until after midnight. So, thank you, Representative.
Representative Williams, if it makes you and Representative Hughley feel better, there's another one going to be here on his anniversary. I'm not naming names. But we're going to be working. I may be needing a place to stay for somebody after it's over. Yield for another question.
One more, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Dukes to your left for a question.
Leader, I certainly want to thank you for giving us an opportunity to plan our lives around a schedule that is very helpful. One of the concerns is the lateness of when we are getting now. And I guess what my question is that it must have escaped me, but did we not pass legislation last year? What groups are allowed to collect funds while we're in session? We passed something. They gave a certain group of people an opportunity to collect money. I've been here for a minute doing
We'll get you a copy of that bill, Representative Hughes, and let you read it, okay?
It's kind of late for a constitutional year, that's all. Thank you, Leader.
To my friends from Southwest Georgia, yes, sir, that is the case, and we will. I'll make sure that you and I sit down and go over that legislation, and send him a text. That's what is that what he prefers? Yes. Yes. So yes, I think this. I'll close with this comment. I believe very sincerely that we were all sent here. I know I was sent here to do a job, and we want to do that job with adequate consideration of everything that we take up. I know that both sides of the aisle's committed to that, and I appreciate working with Leader Beverly and all the leadership on that side and our leadership, as well as the admonition, and I'm going to do my best to help smooth out the April 1st celebrations, that make sure that our First Lady understands that the Speaker's priority is here to get things to work, and we're going to take care of that, and I'm sure she understands that, or else she never would have gone along with that agreement. But with that, I'll ask for y'all's favorable consideration on SR 382. Thank you.
Clerk will read the caption to SR 382.
A resolution relative to meetings and adjournments to the General Assembly and for other purposes.
You've heard the explanation. All those in favor of the resolution will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. After I lock the machine on this vote, I need for you to hang around just another minute. Something very, very important we have to take up. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the adjournment resolution SR 382. The ayes are 137, the nays are 0, and we have a schedule to the end. Now, told you we had something very important to do. You know, we have a lot of important birthdays in here. This is one of the most important, and I mean the most important. Please help me wish a happy birthday to Carrie Vick in the clerk's office up here. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Wednesday, January the 26th, 2022.
The Majority Leader has moved that this House be adjourned until Wednesday, January 26th at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed will say no. The ayes have it, and we will be adjourned until Wednesday, January 26th.